Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time, and before I begin, I'm just going to give a big disclaimer that this story in no way is me condoning underage drinking. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and get on into it. So this story takes place when I was, for the sake of this video, let's just say I was under the age of 21. Like I said, this story does involve underage drinking, so if you are uncomfortable watching this video, then by all means turn it off. I guess that's not the important part of the story. It's just ends up being a factor in it. So I was hanging out with one of my friends, and for the sake of this video, let's call her Elizabeth. Elizabeth and I, we were friends for a long time. At this point in our lives, we had been spending a lot of time together hanging out. So it was one of the nights I was just over at her house. Then one of my other friends, she called us, or we called her, I'm not sure. But she ended up coming over. For the sake of this video, let's just call her Megan. Megan ends up coming over. Megan was at a stage in her life when alcohol was kind of a very central thing. At this point, we had not really hung out a whole lot because she was kind of hanging out with a different group of people who, I guess their big focus was partying, and that wasn't really my thing. And that's where she related to Elizabeth a lot, was that they were both very much like that. But then Elizabeth was also kind of an anomaly. She was very much a partier. Like, I would see her be out till 2 a.m. on a school night in high school. She'd be up the next morning and make it to her 7 a.m. class and pull all A's. She was into like the hard subjects, you know, like she got into all like the AP type of classes. She was very responsible, but also she very much liked to blow off some steam and have fun. So anyway, like I said, Megan ended up coming over, and we ended up, oh god, this sounds so terrible. We ended up getting, I don't remember how we ended up getting this bottle. Like I said, we were underage. Got a bottle of Mad Dog. Comment below if you remember this stuff. This stuff was freaking terrible. We got a hold of it, and I think it was like the orange juice flavored one, so we were like acting like we were drinking like screwdrivers or something. I don't know. So we drank a little bit of it. I didn't drink that much because I've talked about this before. I'm not really much of a drinker. It has never actually really kind of sat well with me. Every time when I do try to drink it, just I immediately feel like I have to puke. It's not like I'll drink a whole bunch and feel the need to puke later. It happens like right away. It's the physical act of drinking. But anyway, so I did not drink that much. Elizabeth and Megan did, and Megan's the type that when she has a couple drinks in her, she just likes to just keep going. She's very much the type to go on adventures. I was fine just hanging out at Elizabeth's house. That was definitely not my intention when I started my night hanging out with Elizabeth, but that's just kind of where we were at. And like I said, Megan was a very social type, so she ended up calling one of her friends, and she was like, oh, blah 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 wanted to hang out today, so you know, let me call him, and you know, he can come pick us up and we'll go do something. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know if I want to leave the house when I've been drinking, and obviously you guys have drank way more than me. So she calls one of her friends, and he ends up coming and picking us up. So this was one of her friends. I'd only met him a couple of times. Like I said, Megan and I weren't really hanging out very much at this point, just because I didn't really jive well with the group that she was hanging out with. So I didn't really know him, but him and then another one of his friends, and then the three of us were in the back of his car. And I guess half the reason why he was so excited to come pick us up was so he could show off his new car. And it wasn't like, I think it was like a Honda Civic or something. It wasn't like, it wasn't like a Lamborghini or anything, but it was definitely like a brand new, like a nice quality car. So he was excited about it, and so we were just driving around, and I don't know if we ended up going anywhere else before that, but I definitely remember we stopped at like a Sherry's restaurant. At this point I'd almost completely sobered up, and I had gone in and went to the bathroom, and as I was sitting there washing my hands afterwards, then I hear Elizabeth and Megan like, hey look, like Elizabeth like pops out of the stall and she's like, hey look, I got new leopard print underwear today, check it out guys, and was like showing it off to us. I think that led to Megan showing hers off because she had some cute ones on or something. And at this point I was like, why are we in public? Why? Not a whole lot passes after. I think we go back to the table for a little bit, and I can kind of tell that Elizabeth, it looked like it was starting to hit her a little bit. So we eventually pay for our food and then we leave. We were walking out of the little walkway and Elizabeth is like sitting down. She's having to be like basically carried. We go to get into the car. So first we just immediately put Elizabeth in. So she gets in and she's just like leaning up against the window. I go to get in. I'm like, I don't care if I have to sit in the middle or whatever. I'm the soberest out of the three of us. Let me sit in the middle. And then all of a sudden Megan, she's kind of in that stage where she doesn't ever become like a mean drunk, but she just definitely becomes a little belligerent. So she takes me and kind of like, not violently, but she definitely like grabs me and kind of like shoves me out of the way. She's like, no, I want to sit by Elizabeth. Okay, whatever. Like, it didn't bother me that much. So I was like, fine. So I sit in the car and we're driving, and we don't make it that far when I see Elizabeth definitely feeling it, and all of a sudden she was just saying that she wasn't feeling good and that her stomach felt sick, and then all of a sudden she pukes all over, like projectile, like pukes everywhere, and gets all over Megan, right in the spot where I was gonna sit, but she definitely demanded that she sits there. I don't remember a whole lot after that. I ended up, I think I got dropped off at home, and then I guess the next day I felt fine. Like I said, I didn't drink a whole lot, and I was definitely sober by the time that happened. I guess that Megan helped her friend clean his car out. That is definitely something that we joke about to this day. We are always cracking jokes about it. I just want to reiterate again that this video is in no way me condoning underage drinking, but the story just happened to take place while I was underage. But I just thought it was an entertaining, funny story, so I just figured I'd share. So that does it for today's story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you like it, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.